Yeah, a lot of the services that people have seen big cuts to in their local area, actually they don't think they've got any worse there.
But is that because the cuts haven't taken effect yet?
Well, I think that's a very good point.
That's a very good point.
Because we are about halfway. Indeed. Beware.
Exactly. In fact, can you just leave the complex up to me?
See you in a bit, guys.
So we're about halfway through, aren't we?
Yeah.
In terms of the cuts to public spending, we've still got a way to go, and maybe we've got a long way to go after that. So, in a sense, we're looking at a job halfway through, and it's wrong to say, hey, everything's fine.
But it's one of those things, isn't it? If you remove funding, you do it on a departmental basis with the annual budget, so those annual budgets are still trickling off from the previous year's allowance, and the difficulty is when it's a manpower thing, isn't it? When there's less people, that's when you notice the difference, and you're not going to see.
But the fewer people work harder. That's a sort of a question.
I think this is the question that we're sort of playing with here. Is that if you're providing a library, and actually someone just said we're going to half your budget.
Yes.
And you think, what on earth can we do? We want to keep the library open 5 days a week because everyone is using it. The local mums come, a lot of elderly people come in. We've got a lot of people come and borrow books and stuff, use the computers. We can't afford to have a council person running the library every day. Why don't we get some local volunteers to come in? Some of the days there won't be a fully fledged librarian in there, but they'll just keep the place open, keep it clean, and do all of that. And actually, it kind of works. And maybe because those are volunteers who like to chat to local people and they know them and all the rest, maybe it feels even better in some
But
way.
someone has lost their job,
Yeah. They're not going to be happy. I agree.
You can't run public services on a voluntary basis, but there is an essence that if you put the public services back into the community, they become community services again.
Well, this is very much something we're just listening from the Local Government Association, who sort of represent councils, that actually they want to see much greater local control of the delivery of this kind of stuff. And certainly that's what the government says it wants to do, power moving out of Whitehall and out to the local people. So
Can John Bishop take part in all your two ways? Because I think it's improved.
I've come in and I'm thinking this is what I should be doing. That comedy lark is a waste of time. This is what gets the juices from.
Sitting in a nice warm studio having a bit of a chat.
Yeah, why not?
Tom in Liverpool. This survey is about perception rather than objective outcomes. When faced with the removal of a service, people realise how much they value it. By contrast, the government has spent the last 3 years telling us how bad the NHS is, so naturally some Daily Mail readers believe them.
I think this is an interesting argument, but what is reality with a service? In a way, reality is what people think of it. If you think your library's good, well, then in a way, it is good, isn't it? If the local people who use it say this library is a good library, you can't get more than that. It's not, you don't go to the library and say, oh, well, actually, these kind of books aren't available, your computers aren't up to the standard or whatever. Actually, if the local people say, no, this is a really good library, we value it.
But also, the reason that potholes come up is everyone, no matter what they're doing, that's something they come across. A lot of public services are only used by a fraction of the community.
Quite right, that's true.
And so it's only judged by those people. So the perception is important. If your library's boarded up, the books might be brilliant and the service might be great, but if it looks tatty, you think it's bad. If it looks good, then you think it's good.
It's true.
That was a thrill. Mark Easton, thank you very much indeed. John Bishop, stay there.
No, I've got my own survey.